Are you crazy for food? I am, at least for cookware anyway. I was tagged by Doug over at Cooking with Doug to do the Crazy About Food tag. So I accept your tag, Doug, and here we go. Let's do the Crazy About Food tag. So I just want to take this opportunity to thank my buddy Doug over at Cooking with Doug. Me and Doug have a lot in common because we both love kitchen gadgets, cookware, anything having to do with the kitchen. He's just about as crazy about it as I am. So me and Doug get along great, and he tagged me in the Crazy About Food tag. So I'll leave a link down in the description to his channel if you want to take a look at it, look at his content. Other than that, let's get going. So I have it written down on a piece of paper here so I don't forget the questions. The very first question is, food that you would eat every day. I wonder what that is. Mexican food, right? I love Mexican food, in particular chicken tacos with guacamole, chimichangas. Everyone knows I love anything from the Southwest. And if I were to eat a food every single day, it would be Mexican food. Okay, item number 2 on the tag is my favorite restaurant. My very favorite restaurant, I think you guys know this already. When me and Eric got married, we went to Vegas. And during our trip, we went out to Laughlin. And Laughlin is on one side of the Colorado River, and Bullhead City, Arizona is on the other side. So we went over the river one day and we stopped at this Mexican restaurant that was, you would say it was a hometown restaurant. It was behind a motel. And when we went there, we were both like, right? And we walked in and the decor was absolutely fabulous. The waiters were absolutely fabulous. And let me tell you, the food was unbelievable. That's what I remember about it. The food was the best food I've ever had in my entire life. I do not remember the name of the restaurant, but I know one thing, it was in Bullhead City, Arizona, and I will never forget it. So along that lines, question number 3 is, what city has the best food you've ever eaten? And as you guys know, the best food that I've ever eaten was in Bullhead City, Arizona. I will say that that is my number 1 city, even if it was only one restaurant. Have I been there again? I will never, ever, ever go there again. And there's a reason for that. 1, I'm not in that area too often. But 2, I had such an experience at that restaurant that I don't want to go back, because if it's not the same, it will kill this image that I have in my mind and the taste that I have in my mind of that restaurant. So I never want to go there again. But let me tell you, it was a meal of a lifetime, and I will never forget it, but I will never redo it again. It won't be the same, and then it'll ruin that image in my mind. But beyond Bullhead City, there's really not one city that I can say is the best food city to me. I would say that there are places that I've had great food, and then I attribute that to the entire city. I remember the very first time I ever actually tasted guacamole. Prior to this, I hated avocados. And we were at the Marriott Hotel, and near Marriott's, I don't know what it's called now, but it was called Marriott's Great America back in the day.
Paramount Great America.
Paramount, something like that. And we ordered some nachos from the Marriott Hotel, and I had guacamole. And let me tell you, since that day, I was a kid at the time. Since that day, I have been totally and completely addicted to avocados and guacamole since that day. Before that day, I hated it. Near Redwood City, near Cupertino, I think it might be at Great America, California. That might be the city, I don't know. But that's one of my favorite food cities. Also, one of my favorite food cities is a small town in California called Galt. One of my reasons Galt is one of my favorite food cities is they have a huge flea market. And we would go out there and we would eat tamales. And you always had to get the tamales before 9 o'clock in the morning. Otherwise, by then they were sold out. So the tamales in Galt, California, one of my favorite food cities. But I can also say, you know, some of the traditional food cities that we think of. Chicago, definitely one of my favorite food cities because me and Eric go there. We go to a few restaurants that we really like, and I also go to my favorite knife store, Northwest Cutlery. So that is one of my favorite food cities. Vegas, definitely one of my favorite food cities. Philly, definitely one of my favorite food cities. Absolutely anywhere in the Southwest, that is my favorite food region, right? LA, what can you say, right? Decatur, Alabama, if that's how you pronounce it. We were down there. We went to Big Bob Gibson's, and definitely my favorite food city. In fact, if you're in that area, the chicken potato at Big Bob Gibson's, oh yeah, right? Louisville, believe it or not, Louisville, Kentucky. We were driving through Louisville, and Louisville has a huge food scene, believe it or not. And one of the favorite places Eric likes to go to, it was like in the middle of the night, we were going through there, and we went to this all-night diner, and they made this chili omelet that Eric has never forgotten. They actually make the omelet inside a milkshake machine, and they let it run in there for like 5 minutes, and I'm kid you not, the omelet comes out like this, and they douse it with chili. So Louisville, you're on my list, right? Kansas City, naturally, Kansas City, right? Me and Eric have been through Kansas City a few times. Both times, all we did was eat barbecue the whole time we were there. We went from place to place. We must have hit 10 places at least, barbecue. Arthur Bryant's, as soon as you walk in the door, right? Love the smoke, love everything about it. The only thing I can put aside there is the sauce, right? Eat It and Beat It, got love for you. And also Smoking Guns, my absolute favorite place in Kansas City, Smoking Guns, right? Washington, D.C. Washington, D.C. is a great food city, one of my all-time favorites because of the Peruvian chicken. South Lake Tahoe is one of my favorite food cities because of the brunch at Harrah's. At the top of Harrah's, as a kid, we went there every weekend, and it was fabulous. And that's favorite food cities also come from your memory. And one of my memories is going to the buffet brunch at Harrah's on Easter Sunday. So that's one of my favorites. South Lake Tahoe, also in those lines, Reno as well. We used to go through Reno and go to all the cheap buffets. You gotta love Reno back in the day, right? Don't think it's like that anymore, but back in the day, it definitely was a place to go for eating. So those are my favorite food cities. Question number 4, what is on my sub? That's easy, turkey, bacon, and avocado, and lots of chipotle mayonnaise. Number 5, what's on my pizza? Sausage and mushroom with no cheese. What foods would you always wanted to try? I've always wanted to try fettuccine alfredo. And I know some of you guys are saying, fettuccine alfredo? That seems like a common dish. But I have a milk allergy, and I have always wanted to try fettuccine alfredo. And because I can't eat dairy, I can't eat true fettuccine alfredo. So that's one thing I would like to try. Oh, and on that lines, I also want some mac and cheese for the same reason. Tell us about your worst restaurant experience. Well, I've had some really bad restaurant experiences. I think some of my major bad restaurant experience is number 1 at Chili's. I've always loved Chili's, but I really think that a lot of their food is now just cooked from frozen, and it's not good like it used to be. One particular night, me and Eric went there, and I mean, absolutely everything on the plate was horrible. I can't say that I don't like Chili's because we go there every once in a while, but I really think that it's just not what it used to be. I also agree with Doug. Doug's worst food experience was at a restaurant called Friendly's. And I had a bad experience at Friendly's as well. So I guess you could say Friendly's just wasn't a great place to eat. They have since gone out of business, and it doesn't surprise me. But my restaurant experience there had nothing to do with the food because we never got any. We walked in the place and it was just me and Eric, and the place was totally packed with a lot of kids. Tons of kids were in there. They had one section that was totally closed off, and they had another section that must have had 30 or 40 kids in it. And I don't know if they were having a birthday party or something, but they were running around screaming, ah! And we told the waitress, can you put us over here where it's quiet? And she said, no, that section is closed. Well, they weren't closing for like 3 or 4 hours, and they had closed off the only section that was remotely quiet. And I was like, can't we sit over here? And she sat us right in the middle of a birthday party, and we just walked out. So my worst restaurant experience was at Friendly's, and we never even got to the food. Okay, question number 8. Who cooks better, mom or dad? Well, mom cooks better, but dad is the grill master of our house. So I would say it depends on what you're talking about. My dad actually, I think, is kind of cooking a few things, as my mom told me lately, but my dad is the master of the grill, so he definitely cooks better when it comes to grilling, and my mom cooks better for everything else. What is one food that you fail at making? This answer will 100%, Eric doesn't know my answers on this thing, but this answer totally and completely he will agree with. One of the foods that I fail at is lemon meringue pie. I tried to make lemon meringue pie over and over and over again, and I'm gonna master that pie. The biggest problem is there's a lot of thought about, do you make the lemon custard in the middle? You want it cold, you want it hot. When you put the meringue on top, and it can weep underneath the meringue, so then it's all watery. And let me tell you, I've made it cold, I made it hot, I made it every way, and it always does that. So I am trying to perfect that recipe. I haven't done it yet, but when I do, I'll make a video of it. Okay, number 10 is, what is your least favorite food? And I think I'll get a lot of comments about this, but you know, our tastes are our tastes, and everybody's different. My least favorite food is any fish or seafood. I do not eat anything that lives in the water. And what's funny is neither does Eric. So my least favorite food is fish or seafood. You will never see me cook it on Amy Learns to Cook because I don't eat it. Okay, question number 11 is raw or cooked veggies. And I prefer my veggies cooked crisp, tender. I don't like them overly cooked, and I do like some veggies raw, but I prefer them to be cooked but still crispy. How do you like your steak? I like my steak no way, because I don't eat steak.
Can we do an honorable mention how I like my steak?
Eric loves steak, and he likes it medium rare. Do you enjoy cooking or baking best? I pretty much can say that I'm learning both. I don't think I'm better at either one. I'm probably best at making bread, but I'm wanting to learn both. So I can't say that I'm, totally best at either one, because I don't think I'm best at anything, right? So your favorite fast food restaurant. My favorite fast food restaurant is Del Taco. I love Del Taco. They don't have Del Taco on the East Coast. All I can say is this. If you work for Del Taco, or you know anybody that works for Del Taco, or you're an executive at Del Taco, or you live near Del Taco, please, we need Del Taco on the East Coast. Please. Chicken soft tacos. They're my favorite. Also, I like this place called Gordito Burrito. It's a local chain in Northern California, and I absolutely love it. That's my favorite place. So my favorite fast food places are Del Taco and Gordito Burrito. Number 15, name a food place you wish you were closer to. A food place that I was closer to would be San Francisco, mainly because of the Mission burritos. I am a tacos and burritos girl, and Mission burritos, as you know, are big, huge burritos that are stuffed full of stuff, you know, sort of Chipotle style. That's what I love, and I miss the Bay Area because I miss Mission burritos. What is my favorite dessert? My favorite dessert is lemon meringue pie. Which food do you gravitate towards at a party or a get-together? I would say I first gravitate towards the chips, the salsa, and the guacamole. Usually when I throw a party, I put out a salsa bar where I have a fruit salsa, red salsa, bean dip, guacamole, all that fun stuff. I love that. I also love, of course, the barbecue. Pulled chicken, yeah. You put out barbecue and me and Eric are swarming the table, right? Also the potato salad, the fried chicken, the fresh fruit, the salads. Yeah, right. What is your favorite food at Christmas time? I would say my favorite food at Christmas time would be the desserts, the cookies, the zucchini bread, any kind of bread, rolls dipped in gravy, right? Mashed potatoes with gravy. Oh, and mashed potatoes with gravy. And mashed potatoes with gravy. And gravy with some mashed potatoes. Mashed potatoes. 19. What food comes to your mind right now? Tacos? Name your weird food habit. My weird food habit is I like potato chips on my turkey sandwich. I like lettuce on there, but something with the crunchy potato chips, delicious, right? My weird food habits is because I don't have dairy, I don't eat ice cream or cheese on anything. I don't eat fish or seafood, and I'm kind of a picky eater, so there's only certain meats that I will eat. I always say that I don't like to eat anything on the back end of an animal, right? I'm a picky eater. What's your favorite holiday for food? My favorite holiday for food is Thanksgiving, and behind Thanksgiving it is the 4th of July. What's one food you will never try? I would never try weird looking fish, bugs, and anything on the backside of an animal. What is your best friend's favorite food? My best friend's favorite food is onion rings at IHOP. What is the best food your mom makes? That's question number 24. What is the best food your mom makes? I think my mom makes, the best food she makes is jam and also zucchini bread. So question 25 is, how do you like your eggs? I like my eggs over medium. 26 is, name your favorite restaurant that closed down. My favorite restaurant that closed down, didn't close down completely, but the location I love to go to closed down. The chain still exists. It's a small chain, but the one that we really like to go to closed down, and that is Hamburger Mary's. Eric loves the meaty mushroom. That's his favorite thing. Hamburger Mary's is a very interesting and can be wild party kind of atmosphere, and that's his favorite hamburger is at Hamburger Mary's. Also, one of my other favorite places that closed was Marie Callender's. I used to love to go to their salad bar because they had freshly carved turkey in there, and their salad bar was great, their pies were great, and the entire chain closed. And I was pretty sad about that. So I guess my second favorite restaurant that closed down is Marie Callender's. Number 27, do you like your toast light or dark? And I prefer it light, on the light side to medium. Number 28, you guys know the answer to this. Do you like spicy food? And the answer is yes. Number 29, do you like seafood? You guys know the answer to that. No way. And number 30, name the first green food that comes to mind. The first green food that comes to my mind is avocados. So that's the Crazy About Food tag. Thanks, Doug, for tagging me on this video. It was a lot of fun. It's great for us to get to know each other, and these kind of questions really make that happen. So check out Doug's channel, Cooking with Doug. I'll leave a link in the description. My last task in this video is to tag 3 people, and that's kind of difficult for me because I don't know exactly who would do this. So my 3 people that I'm gonna tag is you, and you. I'm tagging all of you. If you have a channel, go ahead and do the Crazy About Food tag. I'll leave the questions in the description, and if you do the tag, I'll put a link to your channel in the description. Just shoot me an email and let me know that you did it. So thanks, Doug, once again for tagging me. This was a lot of fun. All of you are tagged, so go ahead and do the Crazy for Food tag. Even if you don't have a channel, get out your cell phone and do it. It's a lot of fun. If you like this video, please subscribe below, leave me a comment and a like, and visit my website at amylearnstocook.com. I'm also on Twitter, Pinterest, and Facebook at Amy Learns to Cook, and on Instagram, I'm at Cooking with Amy. So the Crazy About Food tag. I just want to take this opportunity. And one of the reasons galt is one of my favorite food silly. Vegas, definitely one of my favorite food silly. Vegas, definitely one of my favorite food silly. Vegas, definitely one of my favorite food cities. Philly, definitely another one of my favorite food city.